Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John, I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
So Dan, it's our pre-season special.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back, yeah.
Back from the beaches of Europe.
Well, what have you been doing?
Well, nothing. I've just been sat at home thinking about, Tisdale. What have you been doing?
Well, not that. Yeah, nothing. I don't know. Nothing to do with football or Exeter City.
I've been watching the Women's World Cup. I've
yeah,
enjoyed that.
you have. I've not watched any of it.
I mean, it hardly feels like the season's finished for, English clubs. That was that Champions League thing. And
Yeah, I just feel like this is like a rare opportunity to have a bit of a break from football, which obviously I don't really want. But, every now and then I think it's good to sort of have a rest day. If you're working out, it's good to have the rest day, isn't it?
Absolutely, the Sabbath.
And then the muscles rebuild themselves. So I hope that's what's going to happen with my sort of, podcast abilities.
So your insight's going to be more dynamic than ever because you've been sharpening it through
Well,
rest.
it's the school of thought.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
It's legitimate. I've been watching the VAR catastrophe that is the Women's World Cup.
Oh, I hate it.
I mean, I feel really like they've stitched them up massively with what would be the biggest Women's World Cup ever, and
Yeah.
is, and yet they've got this mad system. I don't mind VAR.
Well, it's brand new, isn't it? And it's
brand new.
going to have there's always going to be teething problems with something that's that kind of big and such a big change in football that it's a bit of a stitch up in it. That they're kind of this is their, in terms of the women's football, this is the first big World Cup. In terms of how much exposure it gets and stuff, and it's just a shame, isn't it, that it's been that's been the main thing about it. And let's be honest, it was the main thing about the Men's World Cup as well. It's the main thing about the Champions League. It's going to be the main thing in the Premier League. But here's a nice little, chunk of optimism and a kind of that's nice, isn't it? We don't have it in League Two.
No,
we haven't got to worry about it.
No,
and
we never will.
And we're never going to have it in League Two. And we're never going to get out of League Two. So, doesn't matter.
Swings and roundabouts.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
So, apart from that, I've been doing nothing. So, it's good to be back. And we got quite a lot to talk about, actually, with Exeter City.
Well, yeah, we sort of thought about doing this, didn't we? And then, is there anything to say? Because until a week ago, we hardly really even signed anybody.
Yep.
We haven't played any friendlies. There's just nothing.
I'll be honest. I was worried about doing a podcast where the sole purpose of our discussion would be a player whose surname I don't know how to pronounce. So,
yeah,
Nigel.
Go and have a go.
I'm pulling a face. I guess it's Atangana.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay, good. I feel better now. So Nigel's here.
Nigel's here.
So we can talk about him, I guess.
I feel like there's some sort of talking heads kind of, chant thing that could be worked out there, maybe.
Run us through that.
I don't know. That song about making plans for Nigel.
Oh, that's XTC.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go then.
Well, it wouldn't matter. You could do a good song around that.
Whoever it's by.
Someone clever will work out a way of getting that surname into a song. So he's supposed to be a kind of marauding midfielder, a bit of a Tilson for the modern era.
Yeah, although I think he's about the same age as Tilson, if not older. And also Tilson's still at the club.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, he's quite clearly his replacement.
So he's kind of the blocker, isn't he? He's the Kante to...
Well, he's the League Two's Paul Pogba. Let's not forget.
Wow.
That's what everyone's calling him.
Is
and
it?
I bet he's well pleased
What's
about
his Instagram like?
I haven't seen it, but I imagine fire.
I mean, of course, the main thing about off-season, sorry, I said it, pre-season, when football's not happening, is that it exposes players and their unwillingness to not share their daily lives on the internet.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, some players have gone bizarro, haven't they, with the stuff they're putting on Instagram or whatever.
Oh, I thought you were referring to both Captain Jake Taylor and Piers Sweeney both trying to flog their tickets for Craig David at Powdram Castle.
I mean, that's an amusing side product, which is that obviously they wanted to have plans for the summer. They didn't want to be caught out. Season's finished. You don't want to...
Yeah, I think they must have bought it and then and then something better must have come up.
I reckon this is what happened.
Like anything.
At the end of season 2, they thought, Boateng's going to ask us what we got planned for the summer, and we don't want to say nothing. That would be embarrassing. We've got to get something in quick, like when you've got to ask someone out for the wedding that's coming up, and who have you asked, and you don't want to be left.
They're like,
no
have you
one.
got a date? You're like, yeah, definitely.
Definitely got a date, yeah. And so that's what both Sweeney and
David
Taylor...
Brent. 2 tickets, please.
Exactly like that. And so they bought 2 tickets for Craig David at Powdram Castle, and then, of course, regretted it instantly, made better plans for the summer. You don't think that's
I think giving them too much credit for that, regretting it, I think something else came up. But because we know already, don't we, that Piers Sweeney's music taste is questionable.
Yes.
To be kind, really. And I think that now confirms Jake Taylor's no better either.
Poor old Taylor.
Which I'm disappointed in.
I mean,
but
I
not
just
massively
think
surprised.
He got into it. Sweeney was like, harder, Jake.
Don't do the voice.
Hello there, Jake.
Supposedly you're Irish as well, so...
What about a bit of this Craig David concert?
And
Taylor went like, oh, yeah, all right, Piers. I tell you, I buy us tickets now. I buy them now. And then he bought them, and then Taylor had to make up some excuse, which I think was his mate got married in America. He had to literally bribe his mate to get married in America so that he couldn't go.
Right.
And then Sweeney was like, well, I can't go on my own. Sorry, Piers. Sorry, Ireland. Sorry, Mother. But I can't go on my own. So he sold him as well.
Maybe.
Anyway, so that's what the pre-season for. Is Atangana going to have a lively Instagram? I haven't looked him up on Instagram. I don't think he's there. Has he got a Twitter?
Oh, he's bound to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got.
Most players have got Twitters.
Yeah, they got them. I'm not sure whether they run them themselves or not. I don't know. Some of them definitely do.
Do you think that our level definitely do, don't they?
No, not all of them.
Really?
You see, I know he's not like technically one of our players, but Kane Wilson's definitely not doing his own Twitter.
Is he not?
Nah.
But he did that thing, didn't he?
It's like represented by blah blah blah, and they're clearly because everyone is always like unlucky today, lads. On to the next game. Like they're almost like programmed. It's just good or insert good or bad, and it's just like that one for every.
But I'll say this for Kane Wilson and his internet presence, and I'm going to get my source wrong now, but a City fan on Twitter tweeted Wilson asking if there was any chance of Forest Green tickets for what would end up to be the last game of the season, and Wilson did indeed get him some through Twitter. So he's obviously got some input.
Yeah, or that other bloke who does it for him did.
Or that.
Anyway.
Fair dues. So Atangana, he's the first to come in, and this kind of
French
defensive midfielder. French, is he?
He's French, yeah.
Nigel.
Yeah. Nom de Dieu. So we've now got...
Zoutalor.
We talked about that a bit last year, didn't we, about French players.
And there he is, he's come.
And now we got a new one. So someone's listening.
Bonsoir, Nigel. Someone is listening.
Écoutez.
We could go on for not much longer. But I think that's good. Just to shape up how that might look in the midfield. Of course, Taylor's kind of had to do that role with Tilson being elsewhere. Tilson obviously wasn't in Taylor's plans.
Yeah, / Archie Collins.
Well, I think that everyone agreed that was neither of their best positions. So for Nigel to come in and do that could be really good for them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, he's injured, isn't he?
Is that what you told me? He was injured.
So he's not going to be back until at least the beginning of the season. So he's not currently fit. And I guess he's working to be fit. Hopefully, it won't be too.
I haven't seen him in any of those training videos. Have you? I've been watching the City.
No, I didn't
videos.
spot him. But that's where I spotted Tilson actually, or if it was a photo of that. So that's how I know he is there. Whether or not he'll stick around, who knows? There's a way to go in the transfer window, isn't there?
There is.
But yeah, I think that was just something Matt Taylor said when we signed him, that he was just like not going to be available.
Right.
Straight away. So one to look forward to. But I think that's a good signing. That's a sort of and all of them that have happened in the last few days mostly have looked like okay. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I know much about these players,
no.
but they look like they're from we're signing in the right areas.
Yeah, I thought we'd go non-league. I have to say, but he's actually got 4 players who've all played at League Two and done something. So then Tom Parks came in, who's a centre back.
Yeah, Carlisle was he?
Carlisle and Bristol Rovers in the past.
Okay.
Tall, apparently.
Well, they're all tall.
They're all tall,
Every
aren't
single
they?
player we've signed is over 6 foot. And again, something we talked about last year, wasn't it? That we had, we were all little
There's
little
some
fellas.
suggestion, I'm sure, amongst some people that, that means we'll be playing a certain kind of football. But of course, one of them's a keeper and one of them's a centre-back. And one of them's a defensive midfielder. So I don't
And the
think
other one's a centre forward.
Yeah, so I don't think it necessarily means, we're just going to be lumping it forwards. But I do think it means that Taylor's addressed what was a pretty glaring weakness, which was that apart from Stockley Bowman, everyone was tiny.
And when we are lumping it forward, like we were anyway, at least we'll have some height, whereas last year we were doing that anyway, even without the players. Yes. So, yeah.
So Tom Parks.
Tom Parks.
And he came in a long time ago, so I'm assuming Taylor had it sorted.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. That looks likely, doesn't it?
And that's heck of a move, isn't it, Carlisle to Exeter? So, I think you can never tell.
He'll be loving it at the minute, won't he? He would have got down here and gone like, wow, I feel like I'm on holiday.
Absolutely. He'd been to Teignmouth.
Yeah.
Done the slot machines at Dawlish Warren.
The English Riviera.
The English Riviera.
Dartmoor. Imagine that compared to Carlisle. A place I haven't been, but I can only imagine it.
I think there's a district nearby with some lakes in that might be quite nice.
Yeah, but, you know.
It's not the seaside, is it?
He's probably wandering around town and then there's like, there's a cathedral and we've got like, I don't know. We haven't got a Giacomo.
No, or Burton's.
Well, is that gone?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Burton's.
We hardly knew ye. Okay, that's Tom Parks. He's the one we know the least about, I would suggest. Then Lewis Ward came in. Thank goodness we got a goalkeeper.
Oh, finally. Well, we've got one. Yeah,
got one goalkeeper.
Grand total of one now.
I guess it's worth mentioning who went. So, obviously, we lost Pim, gone to Ipswich. That's a good move for him, obviously.
Peterborough, but yeah.
Thank you, Peterborough. But still a good move. Well deserved.
Yeah, step up in it. You can't begrudge him that move.
No, you can't. I hope he does well there. Hammond, Kroll, and Oates gone. Hammond, I'm not surprised about.
No.
He wasn't really up to the task if Pim went. Kroll, like we've said all along, I felt disappointed for him.
Not surprising, is it though? But it's a bit of a shame that I always thought it was a good player in there.
Yeah, agreed.
In his body.
Well, unfortunately, he was in that body, wasn't it?
But it was the body that seemed to be letting him down, and perhaps actually, Tisdale sort of hinted that it might have been a bit of his brain as well. I don't mean he's got a brain injury. I just meant that he was maybe wasn't quite sort of able to get over the injuries kind of mentally.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Tisdale said that, did he?
No, Taylor, I think it was. Yeah, which is or hinted at it, But yeah, it's a shame. I like Luke Kroll, but
yeah, and then
I'll miss him.
Oates, we hardly saw anything of, did we?
No,
strange one that.
No, really weird because he came in.
Went.
Then he left, then he came back, and we didn't see him, and then he's gone again.
So there he goes. But Lewis Ward's come in, so currently our sole goalkeeper.
Well, one more out as well, obviously, is Hiram Boateng.
Oh, yeah.
Gone to them who shall not be mentioned. But who cares, because they're not even in League One, League Two anymore.
Yeah, weird.
Who even cares? They don't exist.
Does that mean Harley's retiring? This is off topic, I know, but they're the same player.
Well, I don't know. They both played in the same team for us, didn't they? But whoever, I don't know. I don't care.
Anyway, Tisdale kind of proving he's only got one route for collecting players, it seems.
Well, it is a bit like that, isn't it? I haven't kept an eye on it. I don't know if they brought other people in as well.
I haven't heard anyone else.
But whatever.
So he's gone. Lewis Ward's coming. So we need another goalkeeper, I'd imagine. And it looks like Ward, he kind of found his way through into Forest Green, didn't he? So came in as a lone player. And then became first choice.
So I don't think he played against us.
I don't think so either.
He definitely didn't in the first one, the home game.
But did he play the last away game? Because he was in the playoffs, I think.
Well, he did play in the playoffs. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
That was it.
It's weird, isn't it, how these kind of like, to me, the opposition team names are just like, who the hell is that? Like all these names, who are they? Like in the Premier League, if you watch that, you'd obviously know who every player is in every team. In League Two, it's like, I don't know. Occasionally, you come across one. Oh, Kevin Ellison, I know him.
Or related to a famous
one.
And
I know a lot of people do know kind of more about the opposition than me, but I always just see like these kind of like Yeah.
Well, if they're not in red and white, what's the point?
Exactly, and it's like whatever. And so then when they arrive, they're suddenly like, oh, they're sort of in your life, aren't they? And then suddenly it's like, oh, this guy. And I've seen him. He's literally that guy. No, well, not him, but some of the players we now brought in have sort of played right in front of you, and you've sort of like
completely not noticed them.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't know.
No, I agree. It's a funny thing. So that's Ward, and then just in yesterday, I think Alex Fisher, who's coming from Yeovil.
Yeah,
Yeovil relegated, disastrous season. I mean, they really had a terrible second half of the season.
Yeah. So did he actually. Well, I think he scored 8 goals in total.
Yeah.
7 of them were before November.
Okay.
Or up to and
I mean, inevitably,
November.
if your striker's not scoring.
Yeah. I mean,
and vice versa.
I think if you look at his kind of like playing record, I mean, according to Wikipedia, it's a few things you can notice. We've been to a lot of places. Hasn't played a huge amount, even really.
No.
Like at each place, and who knows why that is? Quite possibly injuries or being a backup striker. Hasn't scored a huge amount of goals, but we need players. And I think he looks like a similar kind of player to Bowman. So presumably he'll be kind of competition for Bowman rather than playing up top with him.
Right.
If Taylor does that, then it's quite an odd move, isn't it, to have 2 big, tall guys up front, which I'm not saying he isn't going to do. I don't know, but I would imagine he's kind of competition for Bowman. What
we haven't seen of Bowman, because we all agree he's actually much better with his feet than you'd expect.
Yeah, he's the League 2 Zlatan, isn't he? So as everyone knows.
So, in a sense, Bowman's only been seen in one position for City, but maybe there's scope for him to go play in a different kind of way. Because as we all know, the season fell apart when Stockley went, and potential strike partners were few and far between.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Could do.
I mean,
from the other signings we've made and the sort of like the height in the team, I'd imagine Bowman's going to be doing that kind of target man role. But you never know. Maybe just he'll show himself to be a bit capable of more. Perhaps, I don't know. But we got him in, so we got Fisher.
Yeah, so that's 4. That's our 4 signings.
I think people seem quite optimistic about him, and like some Yeovil fans seem like sad to see him go.
I mean, it's grim for Yeovil, isn't it? As an aside, they're going to struggle to come back.
Yeah. So we've got long hair, hasn't he? What do you think about
that? What do I think about that? Well, do what you want with your hair. I think it makes.
I only asked you this because you had such strong opinions on Matt Jay's hair.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Matt Jay's hair, which is maybe the worst haircut I've ever seen. And I'm someone that's had a lot of bad haircuts. I think this guy... I just think long hair makes you a target. Now, maybe you want that.
Well, I'm guessing you're remembering the old days.
I absolutely remember the old days.
The good old days, where anyone with even remotely long hair, and I mean anything that isn't short hair...
Yes.
...would get the kind of, where's your caravan kind of...
etc., etc.
etc., etc.
Now, I mean, I used to play with someone, our friend James, who would deliberately play in white gloves so that he'd win penalties and free kicks and so on. Now, I think we've moved on somewhat since then.
It's an idea.
But, yeah, it didn't really work. But, we'll see. But, I think I'm optimistic about those 4 signings. And I think, we forget how miserable it got with Tisdale, actually, towards the end, where we'd all be like, we're desperate for this kind of player. Like, the whole support base would say, just anything of this kind of player, and it would never happen. Like, he'd just really kind of resolutely stick to no one coming in. And then we'd be like, oh, that's another year of... Whereas Taylor seems to see the value in bringing people in, freshening them up, so on. So last year,
also I think he
signings.
wants to rebuild build his own team, doesn't he? Last year was still very much like, this Paul Tisdale's squad, really, wasn't it? With a few kind of exceptions, but the spine of the team at least was all Tisdale players, and so he obviously wants to bring in his own players and do his own thing, and that's going to take more than 2 windows, isn't it?
Indeed, it is.
But it's just League 2, isn't it? You just got a different. There's such big personnel change, isn't there? Every year. So it's like
And
Which I like. I think it's like
I like it too, but with Premier, because the same thing happens at the top level. But of course, someone comes in, you're like, oh, great, that guy. Whereas we're like, oh, could be the person we're singing about forever. Could be the hilarious joke.
And all if you've got like kind of memory like mine is that all you've got to go on is Wikipedia, the few sparse kind of YouTube clips, maybe, and that's about it. And their haircut.
Well, indeed, and these things are important to us.
Yeah, well, there he is, Alex Fisher. I think he's going to be good. Back to Boateng. Do we need to replace him? And are we likely to? Or,
when he was good, he was great.
Or are you suggesting some sort of Archie Collins stepping up and moving back into those kind of forward positions? Or even Jake Taylor, who obviously before last season, played way further up the pitch.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's what will happen. I think we probably still need some further back. Like you say, I'm assuming Tilson will go, and I don't think he was. He's the kind of player we need. No,
I think we need another.
I mean, there's
someone else in the middle, but that doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other because we can shift around. Maybe
Yeah, what you want to see really is if Law's not playing at his best, or if Taylor's not, or if Collins isn't. You just need a couple more options of someone that can come on. Because last year, especially towards the end, it felt like, well, there are substitutions you can make. They're not going to make any difference.
No.
They're going to be a weakened version of what we had. No, they might have more legs because they've not played for an hour. But what you want to see is kind of 15 players who can all start. And when one's on the bench, So you've got Holmes, but I wonder if he's... I don't know, we'll see. If Holmes is maybe not the person... Maybe not the player he has been in years past, getting older, and then Law had such good moments last season, and then actually just kind of went missing at certain points, as did Boateng.
Yeah, well, as it all fairly likely to, and if they hadn't, then I'm not sure we would have been keeping hold of many of them.
Well, indeed.
Even we couldn't keep hold of Boateng, and we scored like one goal, and missed half the season through injury, and then went missing in half the games that he did play, and yet still he's someone that I know there's the Tisdale connection, but still he's someone who was able to and was wanted by like a club in the division above. So I know. That's how it goes.
Indeed so. So the fixtures have been announced. There's a team I never heard of before coming to the league. I don't know where they've come from. I don't know who they are. They sound dreadful. I think it's pronounced Plymouth.
Oh, yeah, I have heard of them.
Have you?
I've not heard good things.
No, everything you've heard's true, listeners. They are the worst. Plymouth Argyle, newly relegated.
Back with their bullshit. When was the last time we were in the same division?
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
No,
I
it wasn't.
remember this. A few years ago?
Well, it was the Watkins year, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I thought that was in the cup, wasn't it?
I don't know. I try and blank out any memory of them ever.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, but their goonish manager's gone.
I'm sure they'll get another one.
No, they've got that fella from Bury, haven't they? Who got Bury promoted.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Brian Lowe, is it? And
right.
he's... I mean, Bury's an absolute mess, isn't it? So I understand why that's happened.
Yeah.
It's the nonsense again, isn't it, that we'll hear about Plymouth. I have to be objective about this, because on one hand, they always hark on about how they're too big for League One, and we're like, yeah, you're right, snort, you're now in League Two. But it is a nonsense that a city the size of Plymouth is in League Two, one football club, etc., etc. So I can see why it would be attractive to Matey to come in. Derek Adams was ridiculous, and their supporters must, be delighted to see the back of him. But we'll see what they can do. And Freddie Ladapo's gone. Gone to Rotherham.
Gone to Rotherham, and he said when they it was something like, I spoke to Rotherham and they sold me a dream.
Wow. I mean, I hate to see that guy's nightmares.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is? I mean, compared to Plymouth, I suppose anything is a dream, isn't it? Even Rotherham, What is that dream? Does it involve the Chuckle brothers? Are they from Rotherham?
Yeah, that's their team, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Barry Chuckle, rest in peace.
Oh yeah, just one Chuckle brother now, isn't it?
Chuckle singular. I mean, I love those two, and that's why everyone loves Rotherham, isn't it? Because they're great. So anyway,
That is good, isn't it? But would you be? I don't know if
I mean, how bad must Argyle have been, honestly? Because he was a good player, and
yeah, I mean, Rotherham are in League One as well, so it's
yeah,
like
but
a kind
he could have been a Championship player, I would have thought. I mean, bear in mind, if you go back 16 months, Plymouth should have been. If they'd had a better start to their terrible start to last season, they should have been in the Championship.
Yeah.
Because their form at the end of,
of.
I get my years wrong now, 17-18 was incredible.
Yeah.
Missed out on that and then got sunk the next year.
Well,
that's
annoyingly, in theory, that's going to be. I mean, they should, and I'm sure they are favourites to go straight back up, aren't they?
Yeah.
So there's them, and then yeah, they only got 500 grand for that.
Yeah, well, he was good.
Yeah, but I mean, Rotherham they are in League One, right?
Yeah.
They're paying 500 grand for players, are they?
Well, one player, I guess. That's probably an absolute, last chance saloon, isn't it? Like we always say, when you look at how Exeter operate and you think, well, we
Maybe
can't really...
Barry Chuckle left them some money in his will.
Maybe he did. Barry Chuckle got that much money?
It'd be minted.
I mean, I suppose when when they get money, they say, well, to me.
To you. We can't do that. People are going to call us the Chuckle Brothers.
They've already called him as it, Dan. That or, Gilbert and Sullivan. So that's them. That's Argyle. They come to St James Park last Saturday in October. I've got one Saturday in my diary when I can't watch City, and it happens to be that one. I'm gutted. I've been training for a marathon for a year, and it's on that blimmin' weekend in another country. So...
yeah, a country which after this episode I'm not sure you're particularly welcome in, actually. Because it's a Dublin marathon, isn't it? Just do another one. You can't miss this.
Oh, I'm really annoyed.
There's marathons every day.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, that's Argyle. They're coming here then. First game of the season is Macclesfield at home. Not that welcome because they beat us twice last year.
No,
I'm looking forward to seeing Sol. Successful manager Sol Campbell, who we gave a bit of grief to last year, and he did it. Unbelievable.
We'll beat them.
Oh, will we? We'd love a bad start to the season.
Actually, I think we've been better in these days.
We have, that's true, we have.
It used to be a thing, wasn't it? We always lose in the first day. But
I
I think they got, they're coming a long way down. Obviously, both sides are going to be G'd up for the new season. But I just think with the home advantage, I think that'd be enough.
I'd like to see Matt Taylor.
I don't know what our team's even going to look like.
No,
so.
Indeed. I'd like to see Matt Taylor in some sort of apron and jaunty paper hat, dishing out lollies from his icebox.
Yeah, well, he's a season in now.
Sol Campbell won't be able to wear those beige trousers. He'll get Calippo all over him.
Yeah.
But
Taylor's a season into being a professional manager. Is he going to mix anything up, sort of style-wise? Can you see anything? I can't see it personally.
I mean, he didn't do much standing up, let alone standing up, pointing and shouting.
No. Well, it'll be nicer weather so we can get rid of that Wenger coat.
Thank goodness. Although, is it like one of those ones where it's, keeps you warm in the winter and cool in the summer? Maybe he's just wearing that with nothing on underneath.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Flip-flops. That would be good, in a way.
Just like trousers that just got to the knee are somehow attached to the coat. So you just got ankles built in.
Great. Look forward to seeing that, Matt.
I can't really see why he would do that.
I mean, the ways of the world are mysterious.
We'll never know the answer to that question.
That coat is awful, Matt, so ditch it. But we've got a few, loads of friendlies actually before then. It's the first summer friendly, obviously all friendlies are summer, at St James Park in a really long time. And we've got Swansea at home, which will be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Who's the manager of Swansea now? Because, of course, Matey's gone to... I should have researched
Roberto Martinez?
No. Graham Thingy's gone to... Their manager.
I don't know.
You pull in a face.
It's one of those things I can't... They're in a championship, aren't they?
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that I would just check to see if Matt Grimes has scored, I can't be keeping abreast of all who's the manager of every championship team. I've got to focus on League Two, bit of Prem, England.
Fair enough. That's fair enough, Dan. But I'm here to fill the airways with facts. That's fine. Graham Potter, former Swansea manager, left at the end of the season to go to Brighton and Hove, replacing Chris.
Oh, I did know
Houghton.
this. Yeah,
Now,
fair enough.
who have Swansea got as their manager? It's a good question. Wikipedia tells us that it is, drumroll everyone, too slow to find. Wikipedia have got Steve Cooper. I never heard of him.
Steve Cooper.
Maybe they've gone for really bland managerial names. They've had Graham Potter. Now they've got Steve Cooper. Soon it'll be
John Smith.
Bill Wright. Yeah. He's the head coach, and he's... Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah. It's
whatever.
a bit less of a glamour thing, isn't it? But that's Swansea. So that'll be good.
That'll be fun. Yeah,
summer
like I
friendly.
said, Grimes will be there.
Grimes will be there.
You'd
We've
like to
also
think.
got Jersey end of this week.
Remember when we played Swansea before? And it was like they were properly like... Was it... I guess it was the League Cup or the FA Cup at St James's Park. And then...
Yeah.
Remember we all saw like... And we saw like Michu and... what's his name? Nathan Dyer and all that on 4th Street.
I do
Just
remember
wandering
that.
about. I think we were having a curry and then...
I'd completely forgotten that. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's gone of those days, unfortunately.
Yeah, they
And
are.
Swansea are probably permanent championship
That was
now.
Brendy, wasn't it? I think back then.
Was it?
Yeah.
So, we've got Jersey away, we've got Torquay away at Playmore. That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of people going to that, as well as the normal Truros and Tauntons and
Yeah.
Western Supermares. So that's your summer planned, Daniel.
Oh, yeah, big time. Oh, I'll be at all of them. Well, we'll get an idea probably, won't we, or some indication of what the setup's going to look like.
I think so. So that'll be helpful for us to know. Helpful for supporters, though. I think the general air around the club is positive. I mean, if we'd gone back a year ago and said Tisdale's going and Taylor will be the manager and you'll just miss out on the playoffs, we'd say, sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we can go into this season feeling like Taylor will have learnt a lot. He'll have shaped the team a bit better.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, there's the thing as well, isn't there, of... so, let's put Argyle up there and, annoyingly, as sort of favourites or one of the favourites.
And then there's someone else who I really wish wasn't there.
Oh, I can't... I'd literally... In a way, I sort of want to get this season out of the way, just so, like, they can, like, just do one. Like...
Salford City.
Talking about Salford City, obviously. Just...
With their high budgets.
Gross. And like, it's just so shameless. Like straight away it's in there like, oh, there's a League 2 game live on Sky. Well, that doesn't normally happen. Oh, yeah, because it's Salford City and their owner literally works on it. Like, I like Gary Neville as a pundit, but I'm finding this whole thing, I'm very quickly going off him.
Well, they're becoming like...
Get lost.
This is no fault of Phil Neville, but of course they're just kind of everywhere as a family. You're not like, you know... the Trump family, you know, you can't have fingers in every pie. Like, just leave some stuff alone.
Yeah, I just don't like this kind of like. I mean, they were literally nothing club, weren't they? And now they're just because.
Oh, they're
someone came
Tiverton
along,
Town,
like,
weren't they?
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's like all our cash, and people can do whatever they want with their money. But I still find it a bit gross, and I think it's just like, you know, don't be that blatant about it straight away. It's like, oh, we're showing it on Sky. Of course you are.
I just hate that they're such... Gary, in particular, is such a Manchester United man, which is completely fine. Obviously, he played there his whole life. Completely legitimate. So he's got that hat, always wearing that hat. Then he's got his England hat, right? He played for England. Fine. Then he's got his, I was part of the Class 92 hat. Also fine. Like, these are all achievements that you've done on your own. So why are you getting involved in the other stuff? Like, you don't need to be a Salford City owner. I don't get it. I really don't. Like... I guess it's just like in the past you would have bought into your actual club, but because you can't afford that, because who can afford to own Manchester United?
Well, yeah, I just think in a time when you've got like so many clubs like being run out of business,
Yeah.
in these kind of like, especially in kind of like the lower leagues, like Championship down really, and then you've got like they sort of like just kind of bowl up, got all like kind of like, look at us, we've got so much money, we're buying players like with actual money, and we're on Sky. I just think like, this is so just distasteful, isn't it?
Is.
Like,
and you know what? I'm gutted for teams like Bury and Oldham. So Scholes dabbled with Oldham for like a week, and then Bury, of course, like they've got promoted, but they're basically out of business. And you think like, well, you could have put your money in there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't like it, and so I don't want to see them. But they're coming. So What does a successful season look like for Taylor? Obviously, we all hate the playoffs. We've really had enough of this playoff dance.
Well, I think it's probably the best we can hope for again, isn't it, really? I mean, you don't know. I think you can get like a group of players and like it might just gel.
Yeah.
It could gel really well. And suddenly we have a really good season and it might all work out and it'd be a surprise, but we could, you never know. But at the same time, it could just not work at all and we could be nowhere near the playoffs. We could be perhaps even kind of battling for relegation. It's just so difficult to say. And I think anything's possible really for this season. So I don't really have any expectation for it at all. What I'd like to see, and what I think is a realistic kind of thing, is that we are around where we were last season, challenging, trying to, and making into the playoff places.
Well, we really dipped, didn't we? For obvious reasons, because the start of the season was great, and the second half of the season was not great.
Yeah.
If you could see a more consistent approach, where actually we got a chance to win most games throughout the season, you'd think that was fair enough.
I think we're quite together. But like I said, I don't know. It's very difficult to say. But I would consider the same again, acceptable, perfectly acceptable, good even, and I would consider playoff places, like a playoff place finish, to be really good.
Cool.
Especially with the people, the teams that are coming in, big teams, or kind of pseudo big teams.
Milli Takım Teknik Direktörlüğü Burak, Exeter City takımının yeni teknik direktörü olduğunuz için sizi tebrik eder. Başarılar dilerim. Menajeriniz olarak kulüp sorumluluklarına ek olarak gündeme gelebilecek milli takım çalıştırma fırsatlarını da kollayacağım. Kim lan bu? Luke Kroll. 330.000'e almak istiyorlar.
Dan, I tell you what is difficult to understand.
Yeah.
If anyone's been on Exeter City's Instagram account recently, you'll have noticed a bizarre range of comments in an enormous amount from Turkish people.
Yeah.
In Turkish. Saying things. I mean, my Turkish is non-existent, so I want to say well done for writing anything in English, but fairly bizarre statements in English. Exeter is the best. Love from Turkey is an example of the kind of thing they're writing. And so I didn't know what the hell this was about. And some investigation and just asking questions of Scott at City, who's in charge of social media, tells me that a YouTube star, I mean, this is a weird world we live in, has started a career mode on FIFA as Exeter City.
Yeah.
So far, so weird. He then films it, people watch it, and are now adopting our beloved City as their own English team from Turkey. That's what's happening.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's
really
mad.
weird.
So what's this guy called? Something like Barack Shenna. Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And you can look him up. We'll tweet the link later on.
I think if you just stick that into YouTube, his channel's called something else, but it does come up, and it's just like tons of videos of him just playing as Exeter City.
And what's amazing is that obviously he's talking through what he's doing. It's been edited.
Yeah.
And so there's Turkish pronunciations of our City team as he progresses. And these blokes and women who are following him on Instagram, mainly blokes, have then decided that,
exclusively blokes. Let's not pretend it's anything different.
Fair
when
enough.
I was a kid, this is a very slight tangent. When I was a kid, one of the other kids on my road didn't have a console. Let's say it was an N64 or something at the time. And I remember him going round to my next door neighbour's house and videotaping on the VHS my next door neighbour playing GoldenEye on the N64.
Right.
Then he'd take the tape home and watch it on it because he didn't have a console. And I remember thinking, that is the most mental thing I've ever heard in my life. At the time, I was thinking, like, you're not playing it, you're just watching someone else play it. Now, that's completely normal. People doing it all the time on YouTube. And even to the extent that some Turkish guy's doing it with playing with Exeter City, and loads of people are watching it. Not only watching it, starting to sort of engage with
the real life
Exeter City. It's just like it's so weird to me.
So, I mean, I'm sure City have thought of this because they're ahead of the curve on these kind of things, but I guess we'll start to see, like, a Turkish City Instagram, and we'll start to see, like...
No, maybe, but these things are so flash in the pan, aren't they?
You could sell some shirts in the meantime, I'm sure you could.
Well, yeah, strike now,
yeah,
you know?
It's nuts. So that's that. Don't worry, we'll be finding some of the best clips for you and showing them on the show.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, isn't it?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, so there's that.
So thank you, Barack.
Any other bits of nonsense? There's a new. Well, we haven't got a new. We're getting a new away kit and third kit.
So we're
supposedly.
told new away kit and third kit. What colour would you like to see? I mean, I really don't like. I've never liked that fluorescent.
I've
one.
had enough of that high vis thing now.
I don't like it anyway.
There's the. I mean,
it's been a long time since we had a blue one.
Yeah.
I saw a guy in town yesterday, and I give him a thumbs up for this. So if this was you, I'm repeating my thumbs up. Wearing the blue shirt from the early 90s, sponsored by Exeter Friendly, made by... You'd never guess this in a million years. I'd completely forgotten.
Is it Beaver?
It's Beaver, you got it.
Beaver Sports.
Beaver Sports.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well...
It's so funny, isn't it?
I mean, what was that? Just like Taggy's equivalent in his garage sewing.
Maybe.
Beaver Sports.
Beavering away in his garage.
I'd like to see a blue. I'd like to see a nice solid blue shirt.
Well, of course, the
Terrace?
The Terrace,
Yeah.
that company that do kind of like sort of retro merchandise for clubs. Such a good idea. Wish I'd come up with it.
Get in touch,
It's
by the way,
such a
the
good-
Terrace, if you want us to wear your shirts.
Such
while we're
a good
on-
idea.
While we're on the radio.
So simple.
Yeah.
What, I actually bought you a phone case, which I noticed you're not actually using.
I just broke it down.
Oh, you've broken it.
Sorry.
Anyway.
I mean, the purpose of the case was fulfilled.
Yeah.
My phone's fine.
Like they say about the bike helmets.
Indeed so.
Yeah. So they're redoing the, is it 93? I think
Yeah.
It's 93, 94, isn't it? The Carlin Black label, kind of blue and white, kind of,
Wavy stripes?
yeah, sort of faded stripes, which is like such a nice kit.
There you go, you can get it from the Terrace.
Yeah, that's a good one to
We're
do.
doing
I mean,
good
obviously
work for the Terrace, aren't we?
our
Yeah.
famous one was that purple one they did last year with the kind of like weird little like yellow and white sort of dashes all over, which I actually had the original of that. Bought it for a £5 off Doug Johnston. Cheers, mate. Back in the day, lost it now. Probably worth a fortune. Well, or not anymore because you can get it from the
Yeah,
Terrace.
maybe not.
.org or whatever your website is.
We can do better. If you want advertising on the Big Bang Theory
At the
podcast,
moment, we're giving it away for free, so don't even worry about it. What else we have? I like the Exploding Bakery in Queen Street. Yeah.
yeah, what do I like? Nothing.
Oggy Oggy Pasty.
I do. I like the flat pizza on 4th Street.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, all right. Get in touch.
Yeah, so that kit's coming out. We'll be like, yeah, blue one would be good for the new one. So the third one, it's like that could be any old thing, couldn't it?
Could be anything. Could be wild.
Seems to have a purple one.
We've never had a green one, which for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
but apart from that, you can do anything.
Although that Fluminense kind of tribute one had a bit of green on it.
I'd like to see a black one again. I thought we had some good black ones in the past. But I guess we won't have blue and black.
No, you need a bit of contrast there, don't you?
What about maroon?
Maroon, bit close to the home kit, though, isn't it?
Maybe.
I think some sort of yellow is inevitable.
Oh.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know. I just don't. Everyone loves fluorescent sort of neon.
Why can't we have
for
fluorescent
everything
pink
now,
then?
don't
Let's
they?
have fluorescent pink.
Like Christy Pym's
Yeah.
goalie top. Well, not
Right,
anymore,
well,
but was.
anyway. We'll see, listeners.
Yeah.
You won't see on here. This is an audible podcast.
Joma. It'll still be Joma. Oh, of course it will be.
Yeah, be Joma for now.
I like him. I like Joma. Is it Joma or Yoma?
Oh.
Let's go with Joma.
All right.
It's
Sounds
basically
good.
just Beaver Sports, but rebranded for
No,
the
apparently it's big in
21st
Spain.
century.
In fact, Swansea are Joma, aren't they?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember seeing
It's
it a
not
lot in the...
absolute bargain basement.
No, I
think.
know. I think there was a lot of Joma kits in the 2010 like South Africa World Cup.
Was there?
Was that 2010?
Uh,
What was the 2014 one?
Goodness
Where
knows.
was that? I remember seeing it in the World
can't
Cup
remember
ones.
anything.
There's loads of them. Anyway,
Anyway,
the home one's nice. That's the main thing.
so listeners, we'll be around again come the start of the season. If we get to a friendly or two, maybe we'll talk about those. I'd like to go to Swansea.
Yeah, definitely going to go with that one.
Maybe,
Who knows?
Maybe play more.
Obviously, when the season starts again properly, we'll be back on the right back on it on the weekly, won't we?
We will.
But before then, just sort of as and when there's something to say, you know.
If there's something you'd like us to talk about, you can always get in touch. on Twitter at Big Bank Pod, on email bigbanktheory. No, start again. On email bigbankpod@gmail.com, and on Facebook, the Big Bang Theory Podcast. You can tell us what you'd like to hear. Tell us what colour shirt you'd like to see. Tell us what else we need in the squad. We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon. Enjoy the beach.
Çok güzel. Tamam. Hadi Boateng. Ver ona. Ya bu labali hareketler, bak keserim seni ha. Şut pozisyonu arıyorum arkadaşlar. En büyük özelliğimiz. Ortadan şut pozisyonu bulmak.